winding road. And as suspected, at the end of the World Test Championship scheduling before the final, it's come out that South Africa is the best team in the world. Well done, South Africa. You are the best team in the world. You have achieved 69.44% ahead of Australia's 65.74%. You've won 8 games from 12. You are the best team. And that's how I feel about today, Pezza. When I was watching it today, I was thinking that I really thought Sri Lanka were going to be better. They finished 6th on the World Test Championship table behind England. England aren't a bad team, let's be honest. But, they were kind of ordinary, weren't they, Sri Lanka? I mean, I was really expecting them to be better. Australia's played well. They've done the business. Boring Aussies, etc. But I don't give a fuck. We're the best team. Second best team. Thanks to Smith Optics Australia, by the way.
Mate, well said, Higgins. It is it's the perfect explanation of the triumphalism of Australian cricket. You go past this point where, once the team becomes really good, all that means is that the other team's shit. You can never actually be good. Because I'm pretty sure several Australian teams have lost to that kind of Sri Lankan team before. we have had that many experiences in Asia where unfamiliar Sri Lankan players made up of people whose names have 3 to 4 syllables that you mix through ignorantly as a wasp have done us over. And we've become confused and bamboozled by these people that we simultaneously will say wouldn't go past 3rd grade at our level, but we cannot play them over there. But the moment we bring a team over there, of course Bailey had on a Pike stuff, but players who can have plans, whose attacking prowess through T20 cricket helps them against spin. New players come in, fit in immediately, apart from one who's just off the beach. As soon as they defeat these unfamiliar players, we go, Sri Lanka's shit. Sri Lanka's a shit team. I mean, to be fair, England beat them. So maybe they are. Maybe
2 out
they
of 3
are.
games. 2 out of 3
That's
games.
right.
Yeah.
So I totally agree with you. And it's a total compliment to this Australian team that I think the next phase of discussion about international cricket now will be, is it becoming boring? Is it becoming a little bit boring for Australia? I mean, I swear to God, 3 weeks ago, nobody could see Bumrah's deliveries. I swear Usman Khawaja looked like he was 60 years old, and now he is the best opener in the world again. It's just the goldfish brain rules the earth writ large, and that is the greatest compliment you can give this Australian team. Sri Lanka's shit.
We've got to see so many new players, guys doing things in different positions, guys coming up the order, down the order, bit of rotation. Kuhneman's done outstandingly. But my takeaway is that George Bailey needs to be hung, drawn and quartered. He needs to, put a noose around the old Gregory Peck there, the old Daniel Eck there. He needs to be tied to the back of a horse and dragged through the town square and then cut into 4 pieces. Hung, drawn and quartered.
So 3 things today, he goes. Firstly, done by lunch. Yeah, sorry. Once again, apologies. Sri Lanka's shit. Australia's got it done by lunch. Weren't nervous at any point, particularly yesterday. And so just to break that down, Lyon beats Kuhneman to 5 wickets. It's when things are going well. Who's going to be first to 5? It's a race. Smith takes 200 test match catches. That's good. He's breaking records multiple times in innings, and I'm upset if he's not doing that. That means he's out of form. The batters come in. They whack it around a little bit, loosely. They get it down to negligible numbers. Heady gets out. Someone's got to get out. He nicks off. Marnus comes in with 37 to win. And the advice from the commentators and everybody else is Marnus just needs to watch the ball, but not just watch the ball, but watch it closely. Not just watch the area around the ball, which has always been his issue. Yeah. And he gets it done with a couple of windscreen wipers. It's Australia's 4th clean sweep in Asia ever. They've been trying for a long time. Kadich is talking about this team potentially being great, but they're hungry for more success. I'm letting that wash over me. Kadich is wearing a Sri Lankan button-up shirt, which is one of the hottest things of all time since he took his shirt off for a calendar. That dark bluish hue's doing things for me. Don't know about you. Personally, I think lesser Australian teams let this unfamiliar Sri Lankan team in, but these guys are pretty good. The Australian team's pretty good. So I don't know if you've got anything else on what actually happened today. I just thought, they got it down to a number and got it done.
Yeah, I mean, Marnus is the winner today, right? I mean, absolutely nothing to gain there other than the scoring 20 runs or whatever. But he went out there and he looked to score. And I thought that was interesting analysis.
Yeah. We had Marnus down to talk about last, but let's just go there now. I mean, look, I think we're particularly well positioned to discuss what happened today because I think there are a few things more grade cricket than a self-esteem saving 26 not out and the winning runs. Like, you can have had the worst season of all time, averaging 13.3, which is actually quite good at the level I played. But if you get 26 not, it's all wiped. He smothered and windscreen wiped some spin for 4. Therefore, I think he bats 3 at Lords against Rabada, Jansen and Gerald Coetzee. I think he's ready to go. I've seen enough. Marnus is in. It's one of the great wins that this team has achieved on this tour. Anything else on Marnus?
When he walked out to the crease today, I thought, I'll have a look at that in June. That for me is 3 in June in England. Very much so. I thought it was a confidence-building 26 red. Ticked all the boxes for me. I don't see how Green gets in myself. Someone's got to go. Maybe Cummins doesn't play anymore. I'm not really sure. Maybe Marnus bowls now as well. Yeah. He actually did look quite good, but also at the same time, I guess like Sri Lanka had sort of the verve had left the energy of the verve had left the Sri Lankan side because they were going to lose. So but I mean, if he gets out for 3, I mean, there are quite large questions about him, which is just unnecessary because he scores 26. So I don't think he's fixed anything, but I do think he's a winner today. He's a winner today.
Oh no, big time. It's kind of silly, isn't it? Like Prabhath Jayasuriya coming close to the stumps, playing at Gaul on a dusty one on the 4th day, second test. Karuna Ratner's about to bowl the last over. That getting through that positions him as on the inside for that number 3 spot at Lords against Rabada. That is very silly, but you're right. It's the act of not being dismissed in a competitive situation is good. And I think they're going to give Marnus as much rope as possible. Far less than we're giving Bailey.
That's right.
They want Marnus. They need Marnus. He's part of the next thing. It's the really old guys who they're trying to, that will be moving on first. They need Marnus as part of that thing. So 26 red against Karuna Ratner is just manna from heaven for Marnus Labuschagne. Series done. Series sweep. He goes. I think it's worth discussing what it all means.
Yeah, I think like this is sort of the end of the Test summer as a whole, right, in Australia, and it's just like I sort of was wrapping it all in with the 5 tests against India and these 2 tests here, and first of all, my takeaway is actually that it's been fucking great to have the cricket on, especially this tour, just on TV, the Australian team playing in prime time. Available for everyone to watch, and it's just been fucking good. I didn't want a 3rd test, if I'm honest. Not a great advertisement for 3 tests, 3-test series. I know we all want 3 tests. It's only fair. Things can happen, etc. What if Sri Lanka won this game? Then it would have been 1-1. I get it. Yeah. Me personally, I've had enough. I've had enough of Gaul. There's not a lot of variety in Sri Lanka. It's funny with this deck where it's a spinning pitch, right? But it's like sort of degrees of ridiculousness of what we've seen in India, especially, right, where they've just been complete raggers. This wasn't like variable bounce. There's some natural variation, which is in every single pitch. You even find that in Australia. But it was like it was good to get 90 overs in a day for all 9 days of Test cricket. But I've had enough. And next.
I think I'm worried. I think if Test match cricket was on all the time, I would at 3:30. I'd have no choice but to turn it on and sit there in a stupor with my phone and realize after a while that I'm not actually watching it. But that it's on and I'm aware of what's on 7+ ads. What I mean in terms of this series itself, I thought that Australia was unable to be impregnated. Australia demoralised Sri Lanka when they were given a chance to do so. Australia was willing to grind when, grinding was what was needed. Australia took pretty much all their catches, it seemed. They got debuts into 2 players. They looked every inch the team that like has completed a tour as you should. The preparation in Dubai seemed to go really well, so we keep getting told.
Yeah.
You know, they got the structures of their team correct. I don't know if that's kind of being wise after the fact, but, you know, 3 spinners, 1 quick in the first game, did well there. You know, the team proved correct this time around as well. You know, they played positively and proactively with the bat. You know, batters found, you know, that they had solutions in scenarios where I think Australian teams, even if they've had worldies in them, haven't had solutions before. They were disciplined with the ball. I just thought it was significant in its clinical nature. You know, yeah, as I said, like teams gone by get wrapped up in knots against unfamiliar Sri Lankan names. You know, like it has happened. Goldfish brain does mean that in like 3 years' time, when we see that Usman Khawaja scored 232 at Gaul, we'll be like, that could have happened in 2016 or 2024. I don't know. I do believe that. I'm not sure that the series is living long in the memory, you know, but that might say more about us. And then just, you know, just going into blokes who did really well. Like, I mean, I start with Steve Smith. Here goes. You know, he started this summer slaloming into Jasprit Bumrah, and he finished it basically giving us another exhibition of like Savant Mark II. With like just a slew of like either overall runs as captain, runs in Asia, records overall, catches overall. He was breaking records every half an hour. And as an Australian, I don't know what other metaphor to use other than just letting that wash over you with whatever liquid you prefer. It's chocolate bars deluxe.
Mate, like everyone's had a good tour, you know, like Charlie's just said that Alex Carey's man of the match today. 156, just a wonderful innings, match-winning innings. Steve Smith's back. Kuhneman's just been outstanding. You know, he's sort of solidified his spot in for Asian tours in the near future. He's been great for Tasmania as well. It was a great move for him from Queensland to Tasmania. That's now paying dividends for us. Mitchell Stark has been outstanding. Nathan Lyon's just like gone about his work. Mate, Usman scored. There's 5 guys have scored 100. Sorry, there's been 500s compared to Sri Lanka's 0 in the series. I thought like I said this yesterday. It doesn't matter, but like I can't really figure out the Connolly selection. Really, I think it was unnecessarily harsh on Murphy to be dropped, because as it's turned out, Connolly's bowled 5 overs and he's batted 8, and he's got a game. You know, like awesome. But I would have. Me personally, in hindsight, you know, after the race has been run, I would have preferred Murphy because in the side, because I just think he's more important in these tours than what Connolly might be. But you know what? You know, Connolly's a young guy, and it's good he's in the squad. He's in around the group, and his mullet looks amazing underneath the baggy green, so that's good. Bo Webster's just been fucking outstanding. I'm maybe we said this yesterday, man, but like I am really surprised by his start, because he's obviously had like this unbelievable couple of seasons at for Tassie and Sheffield Shield, right? But I was always a bit like, yeah, and that's another case of me being a fucking idiot and wrong, because he has just been outstanding. Like just the presence, maturity, buckets, obviously runs, wickets, heads, offies. Like who's had a bad tour? Like Marnus has scored 26 today, so he's back. You know, Travis said at top of the order, they seem to have found a rhythm there. It's just been like
we're just live. You got anything to say about Australia's win? Quickly, everyone's watching.
Go Australia!
All right, can you pop out, please, puppy? We'll talk later. That's all right. It's okay. I got to say something.
So
Sorry,
I guess my takeaway is that like this has just been an unbelievably good tour for Australia. Unbelievably good. Could not have guessed this. Could not have predicted this.
Yeah, that's right. Suspiciously good. You know, it means you have to turn it on to the opposition, because we have so many Asian demons that I don't trust it. I don't trust how good it is. Yes. I just want to back up what you're saying. I mean, and it does speak to goldfish brain, and it also just speaks to the ridiculousness of the discourse that comes up when you succeed in one set of conditions versus a completely different set of conditions. But like, I can barely remember Khawaja struggling against Bumrah now. Khawaja started this series needing to get runs. And then, like, the fact that he scores runs in completely different set of conditions now somehow kind of eliminates what happened in the Australian summer's conditions. But it does, because it's just all about, like, energy. It's just the energy and momentum and form and numbers against people's names. There's no there's no competing with it. But as you say with Carey, like Carey gets the 100 that his portfolio asked for. Gotcha. And not only does he get that 100, he gets it in testing circumstances, not just from a personal perspective because his competitor debuts with 100 at number 5, but he then comes in at number 5 because that competitor has done a Jimmy Jack. He's out the back trying to fix it. Carey comes in on that new ball spinning deck and bats with one of the greatest of all time and puts on an incredible partnership to win the game, just underscoring his class. I mean, it's ridiculous to say that he's always been fighting for his position, Carey. I think he's been very solidified and safe in the team. But when you play cricket for Australia and you hold a bat and you're a guy that can score runs, people want numbers against the name, and he got the chance to do it and he did it. So I'm very happy for him. I believe that Kuhnemann is the story. I don't know who's player of the series or anything like that. I think that the doctor who worked on his hand is part of the story as well. Yeah. Sounds like his hand was about to fall off, but thank God doctors go to the Big Bash, apparently. I mean, look into it, but that is concerning. I just want to say, like, I'm actually not sure, despite all of these excellent performances, I'm not sure Australia is anywhere near as ahead in this series without Kuhnemann. And it says something about the difference between these conditions and Australian cricket. Like, this is a left arm orthodox bowler who could barely get a game for his state only a couple of months ago, and he's our most valuable bowler, I would say, on this tour. Which isn't to take anything away from Lyon and Stark, who are just constants, not to be confused with the former opener, and that could be confused. But, that type of bowling is going to be increasingly valuable on a continent that is increasingly the locus and centre of the game of cricket. What would they have done without him? There was some talk, I don't know how true it was, of bringing Tom Andrews in before that left-arm orthodox angle. He hasn't played a first-class game in 2 years this month, and he takes his wickets at 55 at first-class level. So my point is that, like, spin needs to be advanced and protected in Australia, even though the conditions are tough. If it's not, we can only have fewer complaints if things go awry for us when we go to India and stuff like that. Kuhnemann becomes one of the first picked for India now. And it'd be interesting to, ponder where he sits in terms of the backups to Nathan Lyon from here. Is he just an Asian specialist, sort of Hanscom Styles? Is he a shit tip specialist who we won't regard in Australia, and Murphy's still next, or Rockacholi, or those guys who can bowl holding spin? Maybe. But, look at how much better he has been this series than he was in India last time. And that's because he's bowled over after over after over in Tasmania. He's had a place to do it. I mean, Australia always needs to find a place for spinners and to encourage them, as much as that might hurt in the short term, because it's paid, as you said, massive dividends. Other good things, Adam Collins is up and about as a TV commentator. Thought he was great. And we've watched all of this cricket on free-to-air, and we've complained, which is the purest expression of our enjoyment and our happiness as a sporting nation.
I said this the other day, I just want to say it again, like this tour has, like, reminded, I think, the players, perhaps, maybe not the players, but like the public, that like these guys are good, because like during the summer, the game is moving so quickly, and those decks are so difficult. I mean, if Rabada's bowling, or I don't know, Gus Atkinson, or Trent Bolt, or Pat Cummins, or Bumrah, like they're just, you get world-class seamers on these decks. It's fucking hard, right? And it's so easy to be like, he's out of form, he sucks. The value of like guys being able to like see off a new ball for like 20 balls it doesn't come up in like some sort of fact sheet, but it's just fucking hard. And then I'm really happy for the guys, like, that they get to play in these conditions, and they're like, oh no, we can actually bat. I remember now that we can bat and we're good. So, I'll forget about that when we lose 3-0 in the West Indies. But IPL next. Oh, no, sorry, Champions Trophy next.
Champions Trophy, of course. Yeah, the big one. All right, shall we get to what the punters are saying? He goes, no doubt, as I suspect this might be the most sober analysis we've ever provided in the history of the grade cricketer, because it's triumphalism writ large, and it's actually getting it's actually they're getting seriously good. So which again is never really good for our business.
Yeah.
The question
we got to thank.
You're right. Goodness me, David Pearson.
Yeah, we got one more podcast coming out this week, and then that'll be the last podcast for this season. And that's how people remember podcasts in seasons.
And like the Simpsons.
Will be one more shout out for Smith Optics, but just a huge shout out to SmithOpticsAustralia.com. Where you can use the code FAST for 25% off your order, because they've got behind us for these 2 tests in Sri Lanka. They've got behind us throughout the summer. They've been around the live shows. They've got in and around the group. And most importantly, the punters out there have got right behind Smith Optics. I think they've seen you and I wear these on podcasts, and they're like, fucking hell, I need to get me a pair of those. It's probably not because the Australian team's wearing them. They probably look at us and they're like, fuck yeah. I might do a podcast. I'm actually thinking about starting a podcast. Maybe I'll make a phone call with someone about that. And then I'll just wonder like how it sort of works, and then I'll like create a plan about starting a podcast. And you can make it, is my message to you. But if you're going to do it, wear Smith Optics. SmithOpticsAustralia.com. Use the code FAST for 25% off your order. Thanks to Smith Optics. AskTGC, Pezza.
One of Australia's greatest and the grade cricketer's greatest ever partners, Smith Optics.
Great shout. I'm going to wear the Defy. These are Defies. Yeah, I'm going to wear the Defies for AskTGC because I feel fucking amazing.
Nice, Memphis Defies.
Okay. What the fuck are you doing?
Now, Cheetah Bastard Kangaroo says, "What do I do now?" Which is a fair question. Yeah. Actually,
empty.
Viewers who have been part of this whole show see my eldest son Ted just come in there, and I generally try not to leverage family moments for the cheapest content of all time, but I will share that we were just watching this session and together, and so that's been a big part of the summer for me. It's probably it's the first time my boys falling in love with cricket, and he had a chance to go outside and play with like our neighbour, and he wanted to actually watch the end of the cricket. And then when it finished, him knowing that it's the end of the Test summer, he came and gave me a big hug and said like, "Thanks for watching the cricket with me, Dad." And I was like, "Oh, well, I'm looking forward to being funny now because I just have to. I've got something in my eye. I've got something in my eye." Waylon Smithers style. So that was really beautiful. So what do I do now exactly? Oh well, I mean, I think Ted only needs to see one AFL ad and. Off he goes. Watch that marketing go to work.
I had a similar conversation with LJ as the winning runs were hit today, and she just came over to me and she just hugged me, and she said, "Thank fuck that's over." And now we've got Chinese on the way. Hell of a Sunday, let me tell you. Can't wait.
Food. Yeah, Bluey's Maxibon says, "Footy start when?" Same question. Good Little Piggy says, "What's a pike?" Beer gut looms over Lowe's jeans.
That's really good. That's really
says,
good.
"That was the cash-in super compensation stat pad deluxe 2 zip. How are you, zip? Fuck off." Series. I think that's a great way of saying it. Black Gloves, as you were saying, Higo says, "Big win for the misso."
No, day 5. Fuck. The one day start on Wednesday.
So, Water Makes You Weak says, "Keen for the ODIs on Wednesday now," with an alarm bell next to it, with the siren next to it. Can't wait for the ODIs. Whereby white sheet, says Matt Wade's scare goggle. They're all gone, I guess. I guess the Kmart at Gaul has sold out of white sheets. Top 8 for the footy's been asked for. It's a separate show. What do I watch at work now exactly? More footy chat. Clink go the mic. Hang on. This is someone called Clink go the milk pints. Clink, clink, clink. Says, "Why do we have to bat twice? Bailey to be publicly flogged at Old Sydney Town for mine."
Yeah, we're gonna throw tomatoes at him.
Yeah, exactly. Bluey's Maximum says, "Hey Dale, yeah, the cricket's done. What's for tea?" T as well.
You know what? Like
yeah.
what we've had this series as well, Pezzo. Like we've had some great Joel Wilson gear, you know. And is it Adrian Holstock? Is that his name? Like they've just given us so much, and not in the you know the Arsenal fan TV stuff where there's a conspiracy against that football team. It's just like. No, it's getting funny now. It's just getting funny, and everyone plays their part. And also, umpiring's fucking hard. Let's be right. But also, you know, a couple of mistakes are consistent from certain players, certain umpires. But you know, I've enjoyed that as well. I've also enjoyed the footage of the goal fought. I've enjoyed your next South Africa, kind of menacing, a little bit scary.
Bit of a throwback, really. It's not. I wouldn't say that's on brand. Like, is that? This is the thing. I mean, I suppose if there's anything we're learning out of the global world order at the moment is that menacing movements do exist, and all you have to do is just tap into it, and there's heaps of it going around. But like that kind of banner where someone's bought a bed sheet from Gaul with spray paint or whatever, however you put it together, a source of wonder for me as a child, has decided to write South Africa, you're next.
Yeah.
That's sort of 1980s gear for me, you know.
And I think it was in lipstick as well. That was the weird bit.
Yeah, that's right. Steve Buscemi was holding it. He was reprising his wall as Danny McGrath from Billy Madison.
I'm glad I called that guy.
Yeah. South Africans are sitting at home going, "Oh no, we're waiting for Australia now." Yeah. And then Joe Swanson says, "How do I talk to people in real life?" Yeah, that's a tough one. That's a tough one.
You know, as cricket fans, we're all searching for that, aren't we? We're all searching how to talk to either a woman or just normal people in real life. I've never done it myself, but that's why I wear sunglasses inside doing a podcast with my friend.
Yeah, and it's really like the general tenor of the pig pen, and you can sign up if you want one of the greatest cricket communities, and that's greatest with a D. At patreon.com/grade cricket, we're going to be podcasting every single week. Patrons do not miss out. People who are subscribed to AskTGC Fridays every week via Patreon or Apple, they do not miss out on TGC. We don't stop talking about crickets every single week. To be honest, this is pretty much when it starts pumping up because the English get involved with their wonderful verbal culture. That's when we start hitting the heights of TGC chat. So if you want to join us, if you've been enjoying this, I mean, I'd say brace yourself for what happens on that show and just the different brand of it. But really, it's patreon.com/grade cricketer. But really, he goes, the tenor is, what do we do now?
I don't know. Do we go outside and touch grass? Do we go outside and try and talk to a neighbour? Do we hug our children? Do we find some children to hug? Probably less so. Probably less.
But yeah, I'd be judicious about that.
I would be judicious about that. But hey, thanks very much to Smith Optics for getting behind us for this 2 tests. Thank you very much to everyone that's watched or listened to our daily coverage throughout the 7 tests, I suppose, throughout this summer. Actually will just sign off when we did the podcast this week, and that'll be out. We're doing it tomorrow. We're doing it Tuesday. I guess you'll find out. That's just a business meeting live on air. All right. I'm going to eat Chinese food now and talk to my fiance. And that's what I'll do for a bit. And then when I get bored, the 1 days will start. So that's cricket. See you later.